Ready?
Mhm.
All right, well, I hope everybody had a decent time off. Good for our family, hopefully everybody don't stick anymore. How was elementary school for numbers today?
Yeah, and one gone today, but I know it's good.
good.
It's not good before break, but a
No,
lot of sick days.
I guess with that, you guys responded, we got that, and, a little time to talk here, so.
Yeah,
Nicole,
yeah, thank you for taking a look at what we sent you, sending us back, your thoughts. We are gonna stick with our original wording. And the reason being is, first of all, I think in our last meeting, you helped me anyway, understand why you would want something in there, because, you know, we tried to do that policy so it was ready before last school year, thinking that it was ready for whoever needs it, if somebody needs it. And then you helped me understand why you would want some insurance that would really happen, because policy could change, you know, with a different board or whatever. So I can see why you want something in the master contract. That makes sense to me. And so we're okay with this wording, you know, that we proposed to you guys. We don't feel comfortable with this additional sentence because the current process we have for policy already invites public input. They're open meetings, so that's already the process. So we don't feel like that's necessary, since that's how things work right now. So if you guys are okay with leaving it as this, if I understand the process right, we can open up negotiations, we can do it and have it taken care of.
Okay, I think we're gonna need like just five
Sure.
or 10 minutes, just because we didn't know
Yep,
how you guys were gonna, you know,
Sure.
come back and just didn't wanna.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah, so can
Absolutely.
we just,
yeah.
that,
Do you want us to?
We can leave it
go?
easier for us.
There's more people.
I don't know if that is, I don't,
Yeah, we can, it's easier. for us.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so we will, we can do the top part, we'll set that around. But we do have a quick question before we go through all that, you know, I don't know what it looks like, but
Opening that.
yeah, but, so we were talking about policy and policy meetings, and then we were looking on the school board calendar, and we just wanted to double check, so there's not any policy meetings, they're not scheduled at the moment, right?
No.
Okay, and when they get scheduled, do we get notified? Or is it notified to us through that
If you're
email?
signed up for notifications,
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah, so you maybe wouldn't got one Monday night, whatever.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
yeah,
Because finance meetings are set ahead of time, those ones are only sent if there's a change. But any property or policy or things that aren't set ahead of time, those all go through that notification system if you sign up.
and would we say those aren't set ahead of time just because there's not necessarily something to address every
Yeah.
month?
I'll
So,
say we've done it two different ways
Fall
since I've been
related.
here. So
yeah,
for a while, we're in a good routine of like just going through and reviewing. Right? Or like NDSBA sends out updates and they'll be like, oh, these ones you must update, these ones we recommend, and these ones like take a look at. So keeping up to date with those. And then we got to a point where it's like, wow, we have a lot. And it's like, oh no, NDSBA stopped. That's why we had so many. They stopped sending those. And so then they sent tons and it was like, whoa. So right now, we are, the school board approved in December for us to work with NDSBA for them to evaluate all of our policies. And like, instead of us going one by one, because that is so tedious. They're like evaluating all of our policies. Right now, they're gonna give us a report and say like, hey, here's what, hopefully we're not out of compliance and anybody, so they'll be like, red flag, and these, you know, recommended. So I can tell you in terms of scheduling, I'm sure we have some updates for just what's compliance and recommended and new legislation that's passed. So there'll become some coming out this spring. I think we'll need to unless we get a perfect report back from NDSBA.
Before the end of the school year. you think?
I would guess. They said, they were like 75% of the way through their evaluation and they've been doing it a couple weeks.
Oh,
Didn't they say that we have a lot? we won the prize for the state of North Dakota. Board policy. Yeah, for us, shocked. So, yeah, so really the answer is there's not consistency. It's either when either something comes up, like a law changes and we need to meet, or there's a request or something, and then, yeah, the notification will go out.
Yeah.
And then does an agenda go on the,
Yeah.
on the thing? Okay.
There's a link on that email.
Oh, okay.
Overnight, but then it can be held here.
But to clarify the emails, hey, you don't automatically get the emails. You have to
You
add
signed up.
Is that correct?
Right, you have to sign.
And then it clears out at the end of every school year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there some place where it's just static, like on our website, school board website? If it could be on the bottom of every announcement, like if you ever want to sign up for, just some place to find it
Sure.
other than the first week of school, or.
Yeah.
It's,
You go to the.
it's on our website.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's when you said, well, we already have this system in place. We were all kind of like, well, we don't know what the system is, that we probably should. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just
Yeah,
clarifying
and I think access has to be good for that
that.
information, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we understand that to change a policy, it takes 2 readings, but it almost seems like after the first reading, it's kind of a done deal. So,
I would say maybe that's how it's
Depends on what
been,
discussion.
yeah,
but it doesn't have to be that way.
right, but if
You
we
know.
could get input before
Yes.
it's even the first reading.
So the
that
2
would-
readings are at the school
better.
board meetings.
And I would say-
Policy is before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So there's,
I want to make one point of clarification on that. I'm glad you said that. There have been policies that are like law and they're like so minimal that like it's like a word change that's not gonna affect anybody, like, we're not gonna have a meeting about it.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
I just want to
Yeah.
clarify that.
Mhm.
In that case,
They might be approved in one meeting.
they could be, yeah, you're right.
The board has the authority, but it would say that ahead of time on the agenda. Right, if it was gonna be a recommendation to approve in one meeting or first meeting, it would tell you.
Okay, but anything it should be, anything that warrants discussion should be at a policy meeting. That would be the intention first.
Right.
So
Yeah,
then,
okay.
another thought we had was if there happens to be a policy meeting during our contract time, would, I mean,
Mm.
maybe we consider being able to have a representative
Yeah,
at the meeting from each
Yeah.
building or.
I would say right now, that's unlikely to happen. Amy's on the policy committee and she can't meet during the
Oh,
day. She'll only
okay.
meet in the
Yeah.
evening, like after 5:30. So it won't even be
Has
afternoon.
that happened for other meetings as well? I feel like in the past year, there's been a few meetings where we've gotten a notification. I was like, why is this a meeting when like all of us teach? Like, it just was an interesting time, which I know obviously you all have jobs too. So we just want to make sure that if things are happening that are involving us, that we're able to-
Finance is normally at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I just know that's been a question we've gotten, that there has been some, not saying a lot, but like, that we just wanted to ask for that.
Usually with policy right now, they've been later. Because of
right.
Does that happen same with like finance and,
finance is always at 7:30.
okay, just
That's what
want
we
to
said.
clarify, yeah.
You know, like this one, I'm just setting it up back to back with
Yeah,
that.
Right.
yeah. Okay, yeah, like I said,
Good to know.
it just says,
Yeah, I think we can try. I think when it gets to be a lot, we all start thinking about staff that stay really late. But depending
Yeah.
on when it is,
mhm,
then I say, yeah, like, just to ask or, yeah,
okay,
see what the agenda is. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
give
sounds
me
good, yeah,
something.
yeah.
for
And
sure.
if we wanna have somebody attend with
Yeah,
us.
that's reasonable.
Okay.
I think.
Sounds good, yeah.
Yeah. And as, thinking like you guys have been here in years past and heard this today, but like thinking of new teachers, and like, is there some, in the before school
Mhm.
stuff, Mr. Davison, Mrs. Schmitz goes through that
It's a good
you
idea.
can throw a sentence in
Yeah.
about sign up for notifications,
Yeah.
so everybody
Yeah.
hears it every year.
Yeah.
And then new people hear it.
Yeah.
mhm, yeah.
Yeah, good idea. Are we opening negotiation? Okay.
So if that's the next step, yeah, you would just want to, open up negotiations for the express purpose of amending Articles 7. I was just looking at.
Questions answered then?
Yeah, do you have anything else?
I
in your-
think so. That's all I have.
Okay.
Once you do open up negotiations, I want, if you could just kind of pretend it's in the meeting and clarify what's being changed.
Okay.
Then I can have that in the minutes.
So.
Yep.
Um. So we need a motion then, probably, right? And we all approving or just,
I would just say you're entering into negotiations.
so we're entering into negotiations for the express purpose of Article 7, early retirement to remove current language in the contract and insert language stated on both of our papers in the proposal from 3/2/26. If I read it, I will, but
I was gonna say, does it need to be written out loud, read out loud?
No, it would be an attachment. though.
Okay, see attachment.
probably better me to read it.
There are a lot of big words in there.
Or
Not gonna want
in
you to do
sentences.
that.
So with that,
And now what?
I mean, if there's no more discussion, I don't, if you guys need to go back to your group to get approval, the school board would then bring this to the April 8th meetings. And then you guys, I don't remember who signed it last time. We just signed an amendment to the contract.
so the board need to approve it first or approve approve the signed contract?
Prove it and then sign.
Yeah.
Approve it and then sign it? Okay. So this will be proposed then on the 8th.
I mean, you
Or
could,
tonight.
if not, if you guys didn't have any concern, you could add it to the agenda tonight.
They have to get,
They said, oh, right?
As long as the president signs and the chair, right?
Yeah, I mean, I say no objections because usually they don't like to have something added to the agenda that might have discussion, you know, or concern. But you guys are already past that part of the conversation, so there's no reason it couldn't be added tonight if somebody wants to request it.
And really, you guys would have an hour and 20 minutes to see if other people want to, you know, if you want it on tonight or
Well,
not. It's-
They still gotta sign for it. They'll still have to sign,
Just
right?
then after, like, once the board.
Yeah,
I'll
so
give
we can
you-
approve it and if the board approves it, then you guys have to sign. So I guess.
Oh,
there's
so
like-
you could.
So if you sign it and if somebody, if we, for some help,
Came,
yeah,
somebody came back to you or.
yeah, if we had more questions, we could have that meeting if we needed to.
I think it's absolutely needed in theory and concept, if both sides are agreed to the school board. If you have a reason to believe it may not be accepted by the REA, I think you should try to wait
Okay.
to put it on for tonight.
But they're not locked in anyways, right? They still have a chance to
Yeah.
afterwards.
But it probably,
If we,
probably,
I don't think there's any reason to wait.
I'm kind of with you that this is more efficient to just kind of.
I thought that's kind of what we
Yeah.
got tonight.
Okay.
so, I guess I'll ask again, is there any other objections from anybody?
No.
Okay, with that, we will, bring this proposal to the board tonight. 5:30 or whatever, tonight meeting, and unless we hear different before the meeting.
Does it need to be
Yeah.
formally put on the agenda or asked to be put on the agenda?
At the meeting.
When Nathan asks if there's any changes to the agenda,
Okay,
somebody will request to add it, and we'll just print out
The word you guys,
okay,
so that the board members can see it.
okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I guess then the meeting would be adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.